It's my immense pleasure to welcome our guest this morning. And with everything going on in the world, this story is a very uplifting story. It's a story of a young entrepreneur who defies all odds and does something that's never been done before, and does it well. In the process, makes this world so much of a better place. I'm talking about Advait Shinde, the founder and CEO of GoGuardian. Advait, welcome to the program, so as to speak, and I'm grateful to have you with us this morning.
Thanks so much, Raj. Really great to be here.
Let me just tell you that I'm so absolutely envious of you because you are such a rock star at the Verma household. I've got four kids, and three of them are in school, and naturally, as you know, actually one in college and two in school. And digital education is such a big part of our lives. In fact, most of the internet bandwidth right now is occupied with them going to school. And what you do with GoGuardian is just so comforting to us as parents, and so valuable to teachers, and even the students have begun to enjoy it. So thank you for doing what you do. Tell us the story. A brilliant guy, UCLA, computer science. So how does this idea pop up in your head about starting GoGuardian? What was the thinking? I'd love to hear founder stories.
Yeah, I think it all started with our own experiences in K-12 when we were kids. They were all pretty frustrating and disengaging. I think for the most part, I think everybody has similar experiences. And what we did as founders is that we really turned to the internet as a way to unleash our curiosity. And we found so much online and learned how to program online, found entrepreneurship communities online. And when juxtaposed with our K-12 experience, there was such a big gap between how engaged we were on the internet compared to how disengaged we were in school. And we didn't really know what to make of that until about 6 years ago when we started. We started to notice that there was this big shift happening in K-12 where schools were adopting devices and were giving them out in many cases in exchange for textbooks, where every single kid had a laptop. And that shift to us represented a huge potential to take the same experiences that we had on the internet as kids and enable so many more kids to have more deeply engaging educational experiences as a result. So we noticed the shift was happening in the market, and we said we want to play a part in this shift to enable these kids to really just leverage the power of all the content on the internet to have more effective educational experiences.
That's fantastic. Thank you. So I know I won't do justice. So why don't you tell our viewers what does GoGuardian do and what's sort of the mission?
Yeah. So basically, we do a few things. The first is we need to make sure that the internet is being used safely and productively by our students, right? As an educator, as a parent, you're giving a device to a second grader, for example. Now, we're all optimistic about the internet, but we're also aware that the internet can be a really harmful place if it's not managed appropriately. And so we essentially started off by building internet filtering, but really internet filtering designed for the modern era, where you have websites like Reddit and YouTube and even Google Docs, where the content itself is changing all the time and it's dynamic. And so you need a much more sophisticated way or approach of how to go about internet filtering. And so that's where we started. But from there, we moved on into tools that teachers can use to use these devices in real time in an educational context. So a teacher can send out a worksheet to every single one of their students, or send out a YouTube video and view the screens of each student in real time. And so it's really enabled the devices, which weren't really intentionally designed to be K-12 specific tools. We've built that K-12 specific functionality on top of that ecosystem. And yeah, it's been a rocket ship ever since, with over about 11 million students on the platform right now.
Oh, 11 million students. Wow.
Yeah.
It must feel pretty good, huh? Just affecting the lives of 11 million students, and hopefully they in turn make this world so much of a better place than they found it. So I can assure you, when you came up with this idea and wrote a business plan, majority of the people told you not to do it because it was a bad idea. Is that true? Tell us about that phase.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we just got so much pushback from friends, family, and the investor community as well. Like the conversations we had were along the lines of education is a horrible market to get into. There's no money there. It's impossible to build a sustainable business there. But we've found the situation to be really the exact opposite, where the education system is just in need of tools to really leverage the power of the internet. And if you're able to deliver those tools to the system, there's just like so much resonance. And you go on Twitter or ask any one of our teachers on our platform, they're just thrilled that we built these tools for them. And so that ability to be able to contribute back to them and enable their lives to be easier is the thing that really motivates us. And despite all of the opposition that we faced, I think uh, that was the thing that allowed us to be passionate and keep producing and delivering for them every day.
As Peter Thiel says in his book Zero to One, right? The key to success is to find that one thing which everyone thinks you are wrong about, but you ultimately are right about. And I think you
Yeah.
found that truly. So congratulations. It's an honor to have you as a partner at Advait, as you know. Tell us about your data requirements, and you are in the data business really, and how have those requirements changed with the new normal, and how do you anticipate them changing in the course of time?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing that I would say is that the K-12 system is going through a sort of transformation, like I described, where everything is becoming digital. And with the digital transformation comes essentially a ton of measurability and observability, which manifests itself as data. And this is really a first for this whole system. And I think what's required of us really as a society is to be able to make sense of all of the educational data that we're getting and use that data to inform our policy decisions and our teaching decisions. And up until this moment, it seems that sort of widespread uh, view of like looking at the entire ecosystem and how everything is unfolding and making these decisions on the basis of that visibility. It's really truly like a new phenomenon. And so for us, in terms of our data requirements, we are on behalf of our school districts, we're collecting so much data about how these students are using their devices, and that visibility has been critical for all of these educators to make all of their decisions. So it's a very challenging task from just a ingestion and storage and querying perspective. And so you guys have been critical partners for us in terms of just managing all of that scale.
And you made us better as well. So, and the team loves working with you and Tyler and the rest of the crew. And you truly have not only made us better, you made the world a better place. And what advice do you have for young entrepreneurs who have an idea which was much like yours? And any advice looking back at your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the thing that comes to mind is that it's absolutely possible to have a tremendous amount of social impact while also building a business that's growing really rapidly. And I would even suggest that these two come hand in hand, really. Like the best way to actually drive massive social impact is to do so by building a business that's oriented in this way. And if you're able to do that, the amount of impact that you have literally scales exponentially every single year. And in doing so, you can derive so much meaning from the work that you do because you're really enabling it through all of your hard work. And so that idea is once fully internalized, has been just really motivating for all of us at GoGuardian, and I'm hopeful that many more entrepreneurs take the route that we did, or similar routes to drive more social impact, because we really need it.
Absolutely. Advait, you inspire me. You inspire us as SingleStore. You make us better. I think the world needs a lot more of you. And I wish you nothing but immense, immense success. Congratulations on the success you've already achieved. And just thank you on behalf of SingleStore, my colleagues, and the 11 million students, and many, many tens of millions of parents who feel so much better and safer in this new environment. So stay well, stay safe. Wish you well.
Thank you very much.